come up here, you can actually see this component here. This is our valve cover, or a rocker cover, and to cover up our valve train. The hose attached to it here just returns back to the intake. This is our positive crankcase ventilation system. And what that's going to do for us is allow crankcase gases to escape back to the intake. I'll remove the valve cover by simply taking out these two fasteners, a 12mm socket. Now before we take it off, we'll have to remove our PCV hose. And to do that, we can use a simple pair of pliers. So we'll do that here right now. Loosen that clamp, just pinches together, and then it has to come up. Now it's a little stubborn, so we may need a hose pick. Now if these hoses are being difficult, you can use a tool called a hose pick. Come in different shapes and sizes to actually get in underneath where that hose seals, in underneath where the hose seals, and work your way around and help loosen that up and make it easier to come off. So we can actually pop this guy off by hand now. We just loosen them up. We should be able to take off our valve cover. Now, it's a little stubborn to come off. You can see this engine's a little crusty, rusty. Take a very soft mallet. This one here is so soft, my dog ate it. Give it a quick tap, very lightly, and free that up. Just sticking on the gasket. Now this is our valve cover, or rocker cover, completely removed. Not a lot going on in there. Now that rocker cover is removed, we've exposed a few pieces of our valve train. We can see here we have our valve spring, our rocker arms, our valve adjusters, and our push tubes or push rods, whatever you prefer to call them. This is a 2-cylinder engine, so we have intake and exhaust valves for 2 cylinders, 4 rocker arms. Now, there would be a gasket sealing area around here. We can see this nice machine surface here. We'll have to take good care to make sure we don't nick or score or burr that area while we're working in here. Now also, as you can see, these passageways lead directly down inside the engine. If you were just doing a valve cover gasket or coming in to set the valves, you really don't want to spill any contaminants in there, or you may cause engine damage. So take a nice clean rag and brush away from that area. It's a good idea to, if you have the opportunity to, blow it off with compressed air or steam wash it before you disassemble. If this thing's coming apart for full rebuild, I'm not as concerned about it. Now we can wipe that up and clean it, and our valve cover's off. Now that valve cover itself does have a gasket here. This is a rubber insert, which simply pops right out. Not the best idea to always reuse them. Take a look at them. If they're flat and compressed like this one is, maybe time for a new one. It's been well used. You can see it's kind of worn and weathered looking. They're usually relatively cheap. Throw a new one on. Some other manufacturers may use different types of gaskets, so it's fine. Just make sure to give it a look before you reuse it. What we need to do to actually access the head bolts is one's blocked by the rocker shaft. So at this point we will have to pull our valve train assembly. So I have to pull these rocker shaft and rocker arms as an assembly. That doesn't fit on there. That's okay. Just have these 2 pedestals, which I already loosened them off, just like a cooking show, that are held on by these 2 nuts. Spin these guys off, make your favorite impact noise. Get them out of the way. I pulled the whole stud for this one here. Not the end of the world. Not too worried about it. Pull that one off as well. Now, the rocker shaft just comes off like so. You have lots of components you might lose. We have these here little wear plates on top of our valve springs. We'll put them in a catch pan and make sure we don't lose them. Okay, they're very important. We'll take this here stud that came out. We won't leave it at the head. We'll throw it in there as well. We can pull our push tubes out of this time and set them aside.